Thank you so much for clicking on that Facebook or YouTube link. This is Jared's show, and without any further ado, I'd like to announce the loose cannon, Jared DiGirolamo, a sports mastermind and becoming a sports celebrity.
Yes.
And not only the Pittsburgh, but I understand the Denver area.
That's correct. Actually, I'm starting my show tomorrow night on Blog Talk Radio or TGTS Radio. You can listen to it. Oh, JD, the Loose Cannon, Uncensored every Thursday from 10 to 12. Make sure you listen to it. Call in the studio as well, and you might even be able to talk wrestling or football with me, because that's what we're going to be talking about every Thursday night.
Jared, congratulations on that. That's just really exciting. You're the biggest sports fan I know. I don't know a bigger sports fan, and you can talk about any topic.
Oh, yes.
I mean, my goodness, wrestling, golf, we're going to cover all that tonight. Jared, let's start with Major League Baseball and, of course, the Buccos. 9-2 in their last 11. Jared, what are your thoughts on the Pirates as we head into the postseason stretch here?
The Pirates are playing as good as anybody right now. I mean, they had that slide for a while, but they're starting to catch fire now. They got to start beating teams like St. Louis and San Francisco if they want the home playoffs. I mean, the bats are clicking, the pitching's getting better again. I like what I'm seeing so far. They got to just keep on plugging and plugging. Right now, the division's within their sights, and they know that they want that playoff atmosphere again they had last October. I'm really looking forward to it.
Absolutely. The Bucks are up 5-1 right now on the Bo Sox. Actually, it's 5-3. Check that. But we got a couple runners on base. So if we win tonight, we're 2.5 back of San Fran still, and we have to see what St. Louis does. If St. Louis loses, we could be 1.5 back in the division.
St. Louis always gives the Pirates trouble. We know that for a fact, however, and they're like the Baltimore Ravens, no pun intended, of the NFL. I mean, St. Louis and Milwaukee have been giving us fits all over the years, but we've had a good success with Milwaukee this year. St. Louis, we always play them tough there. They play us tough here. It's going to be interesting what the last 2 weeks hold.
Absolutely. Now, Jared, you were talking to me a little bit before the show about Josh Harrison, not James Harrison. He is officially retired. Tell the viewers your thoughts on J-Hay this year. J-Hay
has been incredible. I mean, if there's one bat besides McCutchen and Walker that has just been impressed me, J-Hay has been that guy. I still think he has a great chance of winning the batting crown. Hopefully he doesn't go cold the last 2 weeks, but he's swinging the bat. He'll go 1 for 4, 1 for 3 some nights, but the next nights he'll come out 3 for 4, 4 for 5. I mean, he has just been an absolute diamond in the rough, to say the least.
Do you think he has a shot to win the MVP?
Yes, I do. I really do. I think it's going to be coming down to maybe that last weekend, but I think if he holds off his challenger that he's got from Colorado, and even though McCutchen's right on his heels too, however, it could be a 1-2 for the first time we've seen in a long time, being back-to-back guys who could actually win MVP.
Buccos back-to-back, how exciting would that be?
Amazing, just amazing. I mean, the pitching too, as I've said, I mean, you have had your issues this year, Charlie Moore and Francisco Liriano, but there's been a surprise like the Volquez's, like the Jeff Locks. And yeah, even though you lost Gurley in the trade to Anaheim, how you've had a decent closer in Melanson, even though I'm skeptical about him. But Doc Watson, Tony Doc Watson, I've given him that nickname. He has been a doctor of style this year. 10-1, 11-1. The ERA is under 2. Amazing, amazing, amazing.
Jared, let's get into a prediction here. Pirates make the playoffs this year.
Yes, and I think you're going to see possibly the Pirates and the Giants. I'm going to say it right now. You heard it here first. The Pirates and Giants will meet in that first round.
In the first round wild card. Do we go there, or do the Giants come into Pittsburgh?
I think the Giants will be coming here, and I think the Giants have had a little bit of good luck here, but we've had good luck out there. It's going to be a really crucial series. I don't want to see St. Louis here. I like to see them play someone like LA. LA is a good team too, so let's hold off on St. Louis at least till the division final if we get that far.
Sure, and LA continues to choke in the playoffs, so hopefully they can choke again in the playoffs.
Yeah, but they got the hottest pitcher, maybe who's going to win the Cy Young, who has been lights out in Kershaw. He's been amazing.
Has a chance to be one of the greatest pitchers of his generation, if not the best. He's just lights out.
Definitely.
Now, Jared, you know, we had some fun talking about the Pirates. Let's move on to a new subject. You folks know about the mess that the NFL has been, Jared. We were talking about it on the car ride over. Can you tell the viewers your views on the NFL, the Peterson situation?
The Peterson situation, the Ray Rice situation, has become a very sore subject for the NFL. And you look at the whole Ray McDonald thing in San Francisco. I mean, Roger Goodell has been under pressure so much from not just me and fans out there, but from women vote people who are telling him to resign. And in my opinion, I think it's time for the commissioner to resign. I think the commissioner is going to be it's been under so much hell, to say the least. I mean, with all this backlash. I mean, now you're seeing possibly a new NFL drug policy being implemented. You got guys maybe coming back early from suspension, like the Gordons and the Wes Welkers. I mean, Goodell has no choice but to resign, in my opinion. And right now, the state of the NFL is in very serious trouble.
Yeah, and Jared, the new drug policy, substance abuse policy, has in fact been approved. So, with all the problems that the league's having, they're giving guys less games for DUI and raising how much marijuana they can have in their system. That doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't. And you look at what happened with Bell and Blunt a few months ago, that whole incident with them. I mean, if this was implemented 2 months ago, they would be already back on the field. And they're already on the field right now. But like I said, the NFL is in such a state of flux right now. I mean, not just with that, but the whole league in general. I mean, we talked about it on the way over. I mean, last year, the cold weather Super Bowl in New York, and how many people are watching that game. This year, it's in Arizona. Next year, it's in San Francisco. You know, they tried it out in New York last year. It came off as an okay success, but they want to go back to decent cities like New Orleans, Miami, Tampa,
Guaranteed
LA,
moneymakers.
Guaranteed moneymakers and big markets.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I think the NFL's looking at. But like I said, the league is in a very, very serious state of trouble right now, and it's not getting any better.
Right. Well said. Somebody else, or another team that's in a state of trouble, of course, are your Pittsburgh Steelers. They came out on fire in that first half against Cleveland. Since then, I'm sure most of our sports fans are familiar with the stat. 50-9, the Steelers have been outscored in the last 6 quarters. Jared, how much trouble are the Steelers in?
The Steelers are really going to be in trouble this week going to Carolina and Cam Newton. I mean, we saw in the preseason, it wasn't a great game, 10-0, but they're going down to Charlotte Sunday night. They're going to be in a hostile environment. The defense better be ready to come after Cam Newton. Cam Newton was banged up in that first week, but he had a good week last week against Detroit. The Carolina Panthers always find a way to give the Steelers trouble, whether it's in the regular season or the preseason. But like I said, the Steelers' run game has got to get back to what it was doing the first week. They can't afford a collapse like they did in the second half at all. They got to play full 60 minutes of ball, and we'll see what happens on Sunday night. But then the schedule gets easy. You got Tampa, Jacksonville, Cleveland after that. So hopefully the Steelers can turn around. But right now, that AFC North is wide open.
Yes, and you know the Browns might not be that bad of a team. Cincinnati, of course, looks great. We'll see if Andy Dalton can win a playoff game this year. Jared, let's. Oh, go ahead.
I was going to say no. You're talking about Cleveland, Cincinnati. I mean, Johnny Manziel has not been tested yet. I mean, he hasn't been in a regular season game yet. Brian Hoyer's been an average quarterback. I still think he is an average quarterback. Since Andy Dalton, the thing with them is Marvin Lewis cannot win that big playoff game. Why they brought him back for another year amazes me. Yes, they beat the Falcons this week, but like I said, the team to beat in the NFC right now, it's hard to say after a couple weeks, or excuse me, the AFC after a couple weeks who it's going to be. We'll know probably by the middle of October it's going to be, but right now I would say it's anyone's guess who it's going to be.
Jared, let's transition to the National Hockey League. Now, Jared, you've heard of a triple threat. That's somebody that can sing, dance, and act. Well, yes. Jared, tonight I'm calling you a seven-star threat. We're going to talk about 7 sports tonight. Our third sport is the NHL. Jared, just 2 days until the Penguins training camp opens on that 14-15 season. We have new coach Mike Johnston, new GM Rutherford. Jared, your view on the Penguins' upcoming season? Do they make the playoffs this year? Well, as long as Gino and Fleury and Crosby all stay healthy, I think the Penguins got a great shot. Yes, they lost some free agents like the Sutters and the Jokinens, the Jokinens and the Orpiks in the offseason. Niskanen too was a big loss. But that Eastern division, I mean, it's every year the East is always a tough division. You don't know, look, New York, Washington, Philadelphia, Boston, Montreal. But yes, I think the Penguins can go a long way. If Fleury stays healthy, they could be back in the Eastern Final this year. But I expect a good year out of Sid. I expect a better year out of Gino. He had a pretty good year last year. So right now we're going to see what the Penguins are capable of. I think they can win 40, 50 games easily, and they can march into the playoffs. Jared, you got to love having Rick Tocchet back. Oh, yes. A friend of mine and associate producer Anthony Gigliano said the last time Rick Tocchet came here, he brought toughness, and we won a cup. Why can't it be any different this time? Maybe Tocchet will bring us the cup again. Well, the thing with the Penguins, though, I mean, when Shero and Dan Bowsman were there, they could not get past that second round, except for that one time when they were all the way to the final with Boston. They wore down a few years ago. But, yeah, that's why I think Tocchet's going to be helping out with Coach Johnston. And, yeah, you lose Tony Granato. It does hurt them a little bit, but you know what? Tocchet's going to show toughness, and he's going to implement on some of these new guys, like the Downings we got in free agents. There are some big free agents out there. They didn't get too many big-name free agents, but they got at least one of the big guys that I was really looking forward to keeping, and that is Brandon Sutter. I think he is just amazing. Oli Mata, what a year he had last year. I'm expecting great things out of him in year 2. He's not even able to drink yet. No. He's only 19 years old. And, yeah. I mean, he plays like he's a 5-6 year veteran already. And like I said, with guys like Sid and Gino helping him out, the Penguins are going to be fighting and scrapping like we said all year. I mean, every year the East is tough, the West is tough as well. We're going to be seeing hockey very soon. And the thing with the hockey, too, is you got the Winter Classics coming up again this year. Chicago and Washington. I mean, that's going to be fun in D.C. to see happen. Last year it was in Michigan and Ann Arbor. We all know how that turned out. That was a great game, and the crowd was amazing. So every year the NHL is getting better, and they're enforcing new rules this year, which is about time Commissioner Bettman does something like this. Absolutely. Jared, let's transition now to college football. You're wearing a Wisconsin Badgers hoodie. Now, are you a fan, or did you just like the hoodie? I like the hoodie, but I have a few people who go to school at UW, so I can't complain. Yeah, we've had some outstanding running backs come out of there. Ronnie Dane and Monty Ball. Yeah. And Brooks Bollinger, another quarterback. Brooks Bollinger. Forgot about him. Yes. Jared, the Pitt Panthers off to a 3-0 start. James Conner is a beast this year. Your
Yes,
thoughts
he
on the
is.
Pitt season thus far?
He's like Shady McCoy. I mean, he is very fast, he's quick, he's elusive, and I'll tell you right now, I mean, they have had no one tough yet on their schedule, but you're going to see that later in the year when you play Virginia Tech, Georgia Tech, North Carolina, Syracuse, and Miami. You win those games, you could win maybe 9, 10, 11 games and be right back into a decent bowl. I mean, Paul Chryst, it took me a while to warm up to this guy, but I'll tell you what, he's got a good class coming in. Moving to a new conference, I think, helped them. And the thing is, they don't have to play Florida State or Clemson this year, so that's kind of a blessing in disguise. I think James Conner, if he continues to play the way he is, you're going to hear the Heisman whispers starting to come up at some point very soon. He's
Absolutely.
off to a great start.
Now, I didn't check the stats before the show. I think he's either first or second in rushing in the country.
I think so, yes.
Okay. Penn State Nittany Lions had a rough battle last week, but they were able to pull it off against Rutgers. Jared, your thoughts on Penn State and sophomore quarterback Christian Hackenberg?
Hackenberg's got a good arm. He reminds me of Kerry Collins, but I love James Franklin. I mean, this was a genius hire by Penn State, I feel. Tom Bradley, I like what said, would have gotten the job, but you know what? James Franklin has not had much scrutiny to him. He's gotten a lot of recruits coming in already. They're believing in him. They're going to be on the top 10 classes in the nation by the end of the year, early next year. I mean, James Franklin is the right guy at the right time for the Penn State program, and I think the thing is, Penn State's getting off those bowl sanctions, or not those bowl sanctions, excuse me. They're going to be back in the postseason for the first time in a long time since the free report. I mean, Penn State, happy days are definitely happy here again in State College.
In Happy Valley.
Oh, yes.
Now, Jared, just to backtrack a little, you said Pitt, 9, 10 wins could end up in a great bowl. How about this? They could end up in the college football playoffs, actually. Talk about the playoff system a little bit that we're going to finally see this year.
It's been long overdue. The NCAA is about time they got off their high mighty horse, because every year it seems like the big conferences, the SEC, the ACC, the Pac-12, whatever, they always get the biggest piece of the pie.
The power conferences.
The power conferences, and it leaves the little-known conferences diddly squat. Well, this year it's going to change, and I think it's been long overdue.
Diddly squat.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yes.
Okay. Now, Jared, we're going to talk about a gentleman's game, the game of golf. Now, I got to be honest with you. I am not the biggest golf fan, so you're going to teach me, you're going to teach your viewers a little bit. You'd like to talk about the state of golf and the lack of a major superstar right now. Go ahead.
It is. I mean, you look at Tiger Woods, he has not been consistent in the last several years. You've got other guys coming up on him now, like the Rorys, the Ernie Els, well, not the Ernie Els, it's the Rory.
Ernie's still playing great golf, though.
Oh, yes,
even at his age. Justin Rose.
Justin Rose is a young guy, too. I mean, Martin Keimer. I mean, all these Europeans are just amazingly good on tour. And then in the U.S., you got your Adam Scotts, your Phils, your Ricky Fowles, who I'm high on. I think Ricky Fowles is going to break through for a big major next year. I really do. I'm going to say it right now. He'll win the green jacket next year.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
You're going on record right now?
I'm going on record right now.
Okay.
He has come so close this year to winning a major tournament. You saw what he did at the PGA. You saw what he did at the British Open. He will win that jacket next year. I think it's his time to shine.
Well, we'll see it in April when the Masters is on, I believe, CBS, I think, carries the Masters.
CBS and ESPN with David Faraday, Jim Nance, and Nick, and all of those guys. Yes.
Do you see why I call him the mastermind? He is known as the loose cannon, but, I mean, come on. Who knows about sports like this? Jared, going into the WWE, Vince McMahon's promotion, again, you're going to have to teach me a little. I'm going to start watching Raw with you.
Yes.
Jared, you wanted to talk about the growing deaths that are occurring in professional wrestling.
It's sad. It really is. You look at the years, I mean, guys who have passed away because of certain issues. I mean, take Rick Rude, Kurt Hennig, Jim Hellwig, known as the Ultimate Warrior, this past year of a heart attack.
How tragic.
Very tragic. And just recently, 2 weeks ago, a young man who didn't wrestle all that much, but was a part-time wrestler on again, off again over the years, Sean O'Hare, 43, hanging himself. A suicide. Chris Benoit, Eddie Guerrero. The list goes on. I mean, I have a lot of wrestling DVDs, and I've watched most of these guys growing up, and I, for a long time, was a fan as a youngster. Then I stopped watching. But once the Monday Night Wars began again with WCW and WWE, I became a born-again fan. It was like Hulkamania reborn into me. So I enjoy watching Raw every Monday night, however, but it's just the state of wrestling right now. I wouldn't say it's tragic, but it is, with all these suicides and other untimely deaths, however. And the thing is, though, the schedule for these guys, they're on the road 350 days a year. You're in the same city 5, 6, 7 times a year, and you do once a month pay-per-views, and plus you got this whole new network that just started up, but $9.99, however. I mean, Vince McMahon has lost a ton of money in his network this year, and he's relying on his son-in-law and his daughter trying to save the company. Yeah, that's fine and good, but at the same time, however, I also think they got to start scaling back in a lot of areas. I mean, the one thing that they are talking about doing, and I did hear recently they might try to do, is drug testing in wrestling.
Oh, wow.
I don't know if they're going to do that, though, but if I'm Vince McMahon, I would start looking into it, because some of these guys, I mean, like I said, have died too young or just too soon.
Sure. Jared, lastly, let's talk about the NBA. They have a new commissioner, Commissioner Silver. What do you think his first year is going to entail, and what do you see for the shape of the league? LeBron going back home to Cleveland, Ohio.
Yeah, LeBron and Cleveland could be the heavy favorites to win, but you look at the state of the NBA, it's still a decent game. I mean, it still gets ratings. I mean, you got your LeBrons, your Durants, your Derrick Roses, your Dwayne Wade, pardon me, and all these other guys, Carmelo. I mean, Commissioner Silver is good, I think. He is the right guy. I mean, David Stern had his run, but he also had some personal issues over the years with the bad boys of the NBA. That's why the NBA's got to clean up its image a little bit. But right now, the problem with the NBA is these owners. You look at Donald Sterling. You look at the Atlanta Hawks owner recently, Danny Ferry making those comments. Why he hasn't suspended them or fired them yet is beyond me. But right now, the owners are just making a mockery by making these racial comments, which is no cost for it in the league. You see some of these players still making these comments too, but they're not as nearly as bad as the owners. The NBA right now is still in an okay, fair state, but they got to start cleaning up its image with these owners.
It's going to be very interesting to see actually what happens with the Hawks. The owner actually wants to sell the team and reported himself, apparently, reported the emails, and Danny Ferry is on a leave of absence. So, boy, the NFL and the NBA just dealing with some huge problems right now.
Yeah.
Well, Jared, I want to thank you for hosting your premiere show of This Is Jared's Show. Jared, will you plug what you got going on right now? I know you write a blog for North Hills Indians football.
Yes, on the Rowdy Rooters website, if you get a chance, and North Hills alumni, as well as this, just in case you're curious how I do that every Friday night, how during football season. I've been getting a lot of feedback from specifically Pamela and Jake Bruder's Bill Bruder, Jake Bruder's mom and dad. Kim Bob Christie, the mother of Corey Bob, former North Hills star, who's now a Cal and doing quite well, I hear. And I'm going to say good luck to him again this week, as he's doing very well at Cal, I hear. And they had a tough loss last week, but I hear he's doing very well. And the other thing, yes, is my co-host here told me, starting tomorrow night, JD the Loose Cannon Uncensored, be sure to listen every Thursday, because we're going to be doing it live on Blog Talk Radio at TGTS Radio from 10 to midnight every Thursday. So be sure to listen in or call in, and you can talk to me, and we'll be able to talk football and wrestling with you all.
Jared, you're nationwide.
Exactly.
Congratulations on that.
Thank you.
Now, I just want to make sure, you said, just clear something up, you said the Rowdy Rooter website. Now, that is actually on Facebook?
Yes.
Is that correct, the Rowdy Rooter group on Facebook?
Yes, that is correct.
Hey, can you give us the website address for, is it
www.tgtsradio.com.
7 to 9?
10 to midnight.
Oh boy, 10 to midnight Eastern Standard Time?
On Thursday nights, yes.
All right, folks. How about any shout-outs? Who would you like to say hello to out there on Facebook in YouTube land?
Well, I just want to make sure, I hope everyone listens in. How it doesn't matter who listens to me on YouTube, but I have a lot of friends on Facebook. My co-host is one of them. Obviously, he'll give me a shout, I'm sure. But I have a lot of other people, my cousins. I have a lot of friends there, and I hope they're listening in tonight, and maybe they'll give me what their opinion, what I have to say.
All right, this has been Jared's show. Remember, tomorrow night, Jared will be being broadcast out of Denver. It's going to be all over the country and all over the world on Blog Talk Radio. We will see you from this same spot in 2 weeks. I'm taking a little vacation, but we hope to come to you every Wednesday. Jared, thanks so much. Congratulations on your first show.